Hello, Diane. Hmm. Let's see if anybody's around tonight. Hello, Ken. How you doing? I appreciate it. How does that shared out work, Diane? Who does that go to when you share it out? Oh, that's great, man. I got it stuck back together now. I had some super glue here. Hello, Carl. That super glued wild. Okay. Not just people on your contact list, then. Well, I guess I got another thread. One of them babies jumped out of the deal. Okay. Well, where does it go here in YouTube? Yeah, I got him though. He was on the ground running around. No, so far everybody's getting along. They laying eggs like crazy. Got 13 eggs since yesterday, since I put them together. Oh, that's neat. Oh, okay. That's the way you share it on YouTube. Then I need to start posting on there. Say hello. This is Johnny Cash. Nope. He got a smile on his face, so hello, gal. How you doing? I think they're gonna be all right. Lacey, you doing okay tonight? I'll hang in there for just a minute. I gotta let Rocky in. Well, gotta say hello to Lacey. No, no. Go ahead now. Hey, Roy. How you doing? They keep you going or you keep them going one car. I don't know which. How you doing tonight, Roy? Oh, he done had two of them tonight. I don't think he got but one left. He gonna have to wait till tomorrow. Gotta go get some more. Well, you gotta keep them ladies happy, Carl. So you can do the stuff around the house anytime. Well, did you get it running, Roy? Oh, that's great. I'm curious to see if you can run it all night long on just how many amp hour batteries do you have? Okay. Yeah, there's always something on the house, isn't Don't never get caught up. Okay, that's fine, Roy. Yeah, you turn them girls loose with a paintbrush, that might get wild. I didn't even look to see if anybody else was on tonight. I usually check and see who's on before I pop up. Yeah, he's aerating your yard, Carl. Oh, I don't. I was curious. I've been busy in a one-arm paper hunter. I ain't had time to look much. Yeah, the kid can get paint from one end to the other. I promise you. On everything except what you're painting. Yeah, Friday's usually a pretty busy night on here. I don't mind painting with a spray gun. Hey, Lily, how you doing? I don't mind painting with a spray gun, but I hate a paintbrush. great, Lily. Doing fine. It's been a long day. I've been working all day. Just got through a while ago. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I am too. Getting wore out. 12, 14-hour days. I'm not used to them. But I got a lot done anyway. Hey, Mr. Daniel. Good evening. Oh, they doing good. I'm swapping them around in some different cages, and we'll see how they do by tomorrow. They laying the heck out of them eggs. I'm telling Diane, I got 13 eggs from those 9 today. Why should the neighbors care? Unless you're living in an HOA or something. Hey, Badge, how you doing, Captain? Come on up if you're in the mood, Badge. Oh, Lord. I guess I've been lucky in my life. I've lived in two houses that I had neighbors that sort of got on my last nerve. One of them was a 90-something-year-old school teacher. Woo, she was something else. Other was a younger guy, he was an electrician, but after we had one little talk, well, he got on my back. I never did figure out why these people, you got somebody owns a piece of property that sort of stops at their fence line. Why they figure they got a right to say something to somebody on the other side of that fence, I never have understood. Badgers, it's starting to warm up there. Uh, yeah, if you can't. I'm gonna tell you what, pets are not cheap. But you take the responsibility. You need to take care of them. That is awful young on a puppy, unless it was just something was wrong with the rest of them. Well, it's been hot here the last couple of days, but I'm just soaking it up like a lizard. Amazing what people will do. You be smiling then, won't you, bad? I think it was in the 90s here today. Yeah, I found out I must be eating plenty of salt. I got the sweating and right across my forehead, and some of it got in my eyes, and it's like acid. There you go. Yeah, summertime finally here. I'm glad. I'll take 100 degrees a whole lot quicker than I'll take 40 or 50 and it raining or 20. You know, it's been funny all year. We've been right. We either been warmer or pretty close to the same as Quartzite's been all winter. That's different. You would have laughed. I got a phone call from my cousin here. I guess it's this morning. And she was just throwing a damn fit. She got a Dodge pickup. It's got like 20,000 miles on it. Thing just clean as a pin. And the battery keeps running down on it. And her husband was fixing to pull a dash out of that damn Dodge to try to find out where the bad connection was. And apparently that's a truck problem with those trucks. I said, what are you going to do that for? Go get you a damn disconnect and hook up the battery. And when you turn the key off on that truck, turn that disconnect off too, and then you don't worry about it. I don't think her husband liked that much. Where are you going to head south this year, Bad? Oh, yeah. Just one switch. And apparently those trucks probably are ground or something. He got so many electronics on them now that you spend a fortune chasing that. I made a mistake of pulling a dash out of one vehicle. And I won't do that again unless it's just all I can do. Yeah, that little old truck is just like I say, it's like brand new. You get that dash. Yeah, isn't that the truth? That's too simple, old badge. Into October. Okay, so y'all got a while. What are you gonna try to go to that Oregon meetup, badge? I'll tell you something else about that switch. If you hide that switch, that's a pretty good deal to keep somebody from stealing your car. Damn, hello, Miss Angie, Rick. When I bought this last motorcycle, that was one thing I looked at was the less electronics it had on it, the better I liked it. Are you still going to Lollapalooza? Oh, it sounds like Roy's gonna stay in court right this year. You don't have a choice on that. You can just stay 6 months is all you can stay in. I was wondering about something, Badge. If you got on an airplane and flew back to Canada and spent 24 hours there, can you do it for another 6 months then, or do you have to stay in Canada so long?
Hmm.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty crowded. I was sort of want to go up there, but it ain't gonna work for me. Hmm. Damn, I hate that. Well, if you come in Texas, we'll get together though here in Texas. Hey, hey, hey.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Let me get. Forgot to shut YouTube off.
Do what?
In a minute. There we go. There we go. Wow, why am I so red tonight?
You look like you were green tonight. Like you done ate too many cookies.
No, I didn't open. I got me 4 packs today, but I ain't opened any of them yet.
Oh, okay. Well, you like your AC, huh?
Yeah, it ain't too bad. Uh, it was nice that it was running off the sun. Saved me half a tank of gas. It'll save me more tomorrow because I didn't start running it till kind of later in the day. But it's right there.
Oh, yeah. How many amp hours of batteries have you got?
150. As soon as the sun gets, all right, I got to 6 o'clock tonight. Well, 20 till. I probably could have went longer, but it looked to me like the batteries were getting low, but they really weren't. Um, Once I shut or turned the generator on, they went immediately to float. I was like, oh, okay. So I mean, I could have went a little longer. So I ran it about 5 hours today, and I probably could have went 6.5. Tomorrow will be longer because now it's here. It wasn't here for the morning.
Well, I'm wondering how many amp hours it would take to run it all night.
I'm not real sure, but I know a guy that's got 16 Battleborns, and yeah, it's Battleborns, all 16 of them. That's $16,000 almost.
Yeah.
it, he runs his rooftop, and he don't hardly even touch his batteries. So it's
Now, 1,600 amps, I imagine. Shit.
yeah, 1,600 amp hours. I don't know. I'd like to have 10, maybe 10 on a, especially on a mini split. And this thing only uses 545 watts. It's a 6,000 BTU. I probably should have went with the 8, but I, according to their specs, that 8 won't fit in that window. It was a half inch too tall for the window. But I'm beginning to wonder now. I'm thinking they measured the frame on the outside of it. So I don't know. We'll see. So far, so good.
Hello, RV.
They even
Well,
come with a fancy remote too.
looks like
Really,
I'm.
the only reason I got this remote because I didn't pay attention to the one I bought. The one without the remote was a little cheaper. I didn't need a remote. I'm in an RV.
Yeah.
I got here and realized, oh, you bought the wrong one. You got the one with the remote.
Mine, this roof air mine, the drain hose keeps stopping up on it, and it'll go raining inside. And
Our travel trailer used to do that.
and the but I'm fixing the. I've got one of these indoor roll around air conditioners. I'm thinking about. I've got it and it's paid for. I'm thinking about just going ahead and putting it in.
We had one of those sitting right here. I had it all strapped down. It worked great. And then one day it just quit. It wouldn't work on the generator. And the daughter took it. It works great in the house. But that's when we discovered that the rooftop worked. Had we known that the rooftop worked, we wouldn't have had that portable one in here. But we thought the rooftop didn't work. And Mom was going to throw that portable one away because she had gotten a house that had a huge central air unit in it. So we grabbed it and put it in here, and it worked great. But then all of a sudden, it wouldn't run on the generator one day, and that's when I reached up and turned that rooftop on, and it kicked on. I was like, "Wow, okay, we're running the rooftop now." That's 13.5 for BTU, and that portable generator or portable AC that was sitting here was only 8,000. I don't know what happened to it.
Well, the one I got, I bought for the summertime down here when we tent camping. I use that thing when the tent camping. It worked pretty good.
Yeah, that one worked great.
They just make so much damn water. That's the only trouble down here.
Yeah, no water. The only time that I had water coming out this air conditioner was a couple weeks ago. I did the laundry and I hung it in here, and that air conditioner sucked all the moisture out of the wet clothes. And I had a big puddle on the roof.
Yeah. Well, this deal, my roof air has got drain holes on it, and I'll clean them out. It'll last about a week, and then they'll stop back up again. I think them coils getting so dirty on that thing that they're probably freezing up too.
Yeah, that's one thing. Air conditioners don't make any of that humidity down here.
I bet you this roof air of mine makes a gallon a day.
Yeah, that's how it was back home, up in Indiana.
You know, I've got a friend of mine that lives in the Philippines.
Really, right now.
He bought a place way out in the boondocks somewhere, and you know they can't get electricity or sewer water or nothing.
Oops.
And he put a couple window units in out there and a bunch of solar, and their drinking water is what they collect off them two air conditioners. Right there on that ocean, that thing just pours water.
It's supposed to be pretty clean water. Give me this.
Yeah. I run it through filters too, but
get up there, Jeff. Oh, they're like children tonight.
What are they fussing about?
One's got a nylabone, the other one wanted up on the bed. And I don't know what Lulu's wanting. She done had all her treats and everything for the night. And it ain't even hot in here.
Yeah, Rocky done hit me up twice tonight already for them treats. I better not say that too loud. He raised his head up and looked at me. Well, they learn that word quick, don't they?
Yeah, and every other word that you try to use, they learn that too. Oh, you want a chest rub? Is that what it is? Okay. I think she's trying to talk me into running the generator all night to run the AC all night because now it runs on solar in the daytime. Quit. You got teamed up there.
All right, bud. You have a good night, man. Appreciate you dropping in.
Have a good night, Badge.
Well, I got a neat little old deal in yesterday. You know, I've been raising them quail, and them hens lay one egg a day. Of course, they little,
Yeah.
And I made some of them pickled quail eggs, but peeling them damn eggs is a pain in the butt. After you boil them.
Yeah.
And I got a little machine in that you can peel one of them eggs in 10 seconds.
Oh wow.
You just stick it on there and press down on it, and then it's peeled. I mean, perfect.
Wow.
They were.
So they taste better than a regular egg, don't they? I hear they're richer.
They're a little bit richer, and I'm allergic to it. That's what got me started on them. I'm allergic to chicken egg. They'll make my stomach hurt, and quail eggs don't bother me.
I've had them, but I was probably my early 20s. We had a quail farm in the area that, so quail eggs was basically everywhere. Everybody had quail eggs from there. And I always liked them, but it's been so long, I really can't remember.
Yeah, they got a creamier taste to them.
I always like a duck egg too.
Do what?
I always like duck eggs too.
I never have ate any duck eggs that I can remember. I'm sure I did when I was a kid, but cause my
Yeah, I
mom
like richer.
always had chickens and banties and ducks and geese. There ain't nothing like run around the yard barefoot and step in goose crap.
Yeah.
Run up between your toes.
Why a 30-pound Tom turkey's chasing you? Yeah, my grandpa had a turkey. Oh man, yeah, he thought he run the yard.
I tell you what, them damn geese are bad about that.
Yeah, yeah. His was main. He had geese, but his turkeys was the ones that we always had to watch. Of course, they was as big as us when we were kids too, though. So
Yeah, they tall as you are. I think
yeah, I think I was
you talk
4 or 5.
you talk about having a heart attack. I was hunting down up around Abilene, and I was messing around. I was fixing to leave, and I was wanting to kill another deer before I left. And I got to looking down in an oak patch that had this mesquite and cactus all around this small oak patch, and there were 4 or 5 deer on it. So I grabbed my rifle and started easing down there and was gonna get up and see where I could get a shot. And I come easing around a big pile of cactus. And when I stepped over one of them cactus, I stepped on the tail on a damn wild turkey. And that son gun went to flapping and flopping and squawking and raising hell. I thought I'd done stepped on the biggest rattlesnake in captivity, boy. He scared the shit out of me.
I think all the rattlesnakes left courtside. Actually, all the ones that we're seeing have been in town.
Hmm.
People posting pictures of them, but we ain't seen nothing out here.
Well, I've had 2 or 3 people tell me today they've seen snakes crossing the road, so it must be drying up enough that they're moving. That's the way we usually see them here. Is you'll see them for a couple of weeks, and then you don't see them anymore. And then about 4 or 5 months later, you'll see them for a couple of weeks, and they're going back and forth to the den.
Would you? I'll be back. Let me see what she needs.
You getting attacked? Oh Lord! You ain't lying. It freaked me out because that turkey went to trying to run and fly and squawking and flapping them old big wings. Ooh, Lord! Run all the deer off. I didn't hunt this last year, and I sure miss that deer meat. Them old whitetails make the best jerky in the world. You can make that beef jerky and it's all right. It's not as good as that venison.
I think I tricked her. So she's wanting her dish down, but her dish was empty. But her brother's had some in it, so I put it down. But I don't know if she's gonna fall for it.
Well, I don't know what I'm gonna do with these quail. When I want to put 100 quail in the freezer.
That'll last a while.
Yeah, that lasts about a year, I think.
You quit now. Stop.
Oh, I do too, RV. Usually I'll kill 3 or 4 deer. And it'll go into steak, what makes real good steak, back strap and stuff like that, and the rest of it goes into hamburger meat. And a lot of that goes into jerky.
You stay down here with that so you don't fight with your sister. Stay. I never hunted deer, but there was plenty of it around back home, though. Everybody, I don't think, if you didn't know 10 people that hunted deer, there was a problem.
Well, you know, up there where you're from, they plant all that corn, and the deer live in that corn once it gets up. And then when they cut that corn, the only woods that are left are just what's on the creeks and the fence lines.
No, the state pays farmers to leave a few rows for the deers, especially around the wildlife areas.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll leave quite a bit of it actually for the deers.
But I'm talking about woods and stuff like that. You know, it was.
Oh yeah.
Where I was at, it was all fields, and just the only trails through there where they were traveling them wood deals. You know, be 100 yards wide or something.
Yeah.
You set up in one of those and be all kind of deer.
I want to try some elk sometime. I've never had any elk. I'm in a state with elk, so
It's pretty good. I've got a hunt set up sometime in the next couple of months, and we're gonna go down and they've got a bunch of wild axis deer on this ranch, and they're getting too many, so they're wanting to take some does off. And the um, they claim that's the best meat you can get. In Texas, RV, your archery season normally runs in October, first to the end, weekend, and then your gun season starts, and it runs till after the first of the year. And then they have some special seasons, some doe seasons, spike seasons, and muzzle loader and stuff like that. Usually about the 15th or 16th of January. So it's you can hunt as much as you want to hunt. And most places just a 5 deer limit. You kill 5 deer. I used to never buy any meat. I'd kill 4 or 5 deer.
gosh, what was it in I forget what Indiana's was, but I thought Michigan was like 9 does and or one. It was 9 and one and one on the other, but I don't remember which one it was. I think I got a buddy that hunts lives up there, and he's always posting his on Facebook with his tags and that. I thought he said it was 9 and one.
Alabama used to be the damnedest one. It was 1 deer a day. And then there were different seasons and stuff in there. You could kill, what was it, 21 deer if you hunted all the season.
Wow.
That's a bunch of damn deer.
That's what Indiana needs to do. They need to lighten theirs up because there's a lot of deer there that runs into cars. A
I,
lot of deers.
I don't know how. Well, up there, them RVs we were pulling, they wouldn't let us run at night in rutting season.
Yeah, it's bad. I hit two at one time. Once out of seven, seven crossed the road, and I caught the last two.
Down in South Texas and the hill country is like that. There's damn deer everywhere.
Well, I had one run out in front of me coming back here the other night. A mule deer. First
Hmm.
one I've seen around Quartzsite.
Dang.
Of course, up in Indiana, that's the one thing you got to worry about. Occasional horse that might get out every now and then, or a cow, maybe a sheep, maybe a pig. But wildlife, just deer. Here, you got donkeys and whatever, burros and
Yeah.
elk and deer and mountain lions and mountain goats.
Boy, a damn elk or a horse will mess a car up. Woo.
Yeah, we had a car hit a horse over by the house up in Indiana once, and yeah, that car was totaled.
If you don't watch it, they're tall enough, they'll come right through the damn windshield.
That one did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't. It pinned the guy. He he ended up going to the hospital, but yeah, he. They said about another 2 inches, and that the horse would have went in another 2 inches. He probably would have suffocated because he couldn't take a deep breath, but he could breathe.
RV, that rut is the most misunderstood deal in the world. The first rut in Texas will be in October. And then you have a rut every 28 days after that till everything gets bred. But in bow season, I'll sit there and watch them deer rutting like crazy, and that's in October. But what it is that in October there's all kind of does and all kind of bucks, so you don't see them rut. They're rutting night more than anything else. And in November, some of them bucks have got killed off, so competition gets a little worse. And the further you get in the year, you get up into January, and I've seen 7 or 8 bucks trailing one day. Doe will come through, and then bucks will just start coming through in a line. And so that people say, "Oh no, that ain't right. You got one rut." Well, that you got little deer that got spots all over them at times of the year, and then there'll be one that's half grown, lost his spots, and they're all bred the same time of year. If you if you listen to that, so that don't fly. But like I say, I sure have missed the meat the last couple of years. I'm curious about this Axis deer if it's as good as it is. And those deer get a pretty good size. They get about like 300 pounds. They're supposed to be better than elk. The elk I've ate, Roy, the meat's sweeter than like whitetails and stuff. A mule deer. It,
I was
it,
told you don't want any deer or elk from down here in the desert because they eat the sage bushes, and that kind of ruins the taste.
I never have hunted Arizona. I've hunted Colorado a lot.
Up north, up in the forest, and that where the best meat is, from what I hear. That's where it's pretty sweet tasting in that.
Well, some of the biggest mule deer there is around is on the north side of the Grand Canyon up in there.
Yeah, I want to get up on the north side of that sometime.
What do they call it? And the Mogul Rim or something, Mogul Rim, or there's supposed to be some monsters in there. It takes you like 10 years to draw a tag up in there.
Something like that.
And they're huge, a lot of big deer. Mule deer is good meat. It's mild.
It's a lot harder to get on that side, I think, than what it is on the south side. Well, the terrains are different too, because it's 8,000 feet higher than the south rim.
Yeah. When I take my next big trip, I want to leave here. I've sort of been mapping it out. I want to leave here, and unless I get a chance to go to Big Bend before that, on my trip the other day, well, I got to the front gate of Big Bend and all them storms hit, and I brought it on home. But I want to go to Big Bend and then go on through New Mexico and probably stop and see Steve and anybody that's in Quartzsite. And then I'm going to the North Rim, the Grand Canyon. I've been to South Rim several times, and go up there and spend a few days.
We've been to the south rim once. That was during the pandemic, and man, it was nice. Nobody was there.
Well, I don't think it's the North Rim doesn't ever have a traffic like the South Rim does.
No, because a lot of things over there on that side are way more expensive because that's Indian reservation on that side.
Yeah. Well, and it's harder to get to. That's a hell of a road around the end of that Grand Canyon.
Yeah, yeah, it's a lot harder to get to.
And then you get above that in that country, and it's it goes to desert again. High desert, just like Arizona.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, I was shocked the first time I had never been up through there. When I left Texas, well, of course, West Texas is high desert. I drove 300 or 400 miles through that. Then I hit New Mexico, that's high desert. And then I hit Arizona, that's high desert, and turned north there and started up. And the one of the Utah high desert, I got into Oregon, and I thought we're gonna get into some trees and some mountains now. Well, hell, Oregon's high desert, 3/4 of the state is. You don't hit the mountains and stuff till you get 50, 60 miles from the coast. And Washington's the same way.
Yeah, I always thought Flagstaff, they could the, the forest. That's what I thought was a high desert.
Now you get above Flagstaff, then you start hitting your mountains and your trees and some stuff. A lot more forest. But that's like in Texas now. You go east of here about 50 miles and you hit what they call a big thicket. And it's just solid trees and just so thick you can't walk through it. And you get a little bit further and then you hit them pine forests. And it's like if you go to Florida, it's like driving through a pine tree tunnel for 1,000 miles. I mean, that's all there is. Just pine trees on both sides and a highway. That's one of the most boring drives you can ever get on.
Is that through hill country?
No, no, that's not the hill country. That's that's going east.
We went through somewhere in hill country that was full of thickets on both sides for thicket trees. I mean, it was miles and miles. You couldn't even see through them trees.
Yeah.
It was really thick.
The hill,
Ugliest trees I've seen in a long time.
yeah, little stunted trees.
They
Like,
kind of remind me of the ones out here in the desert, though. These little ironwoods and uh, creosote bushes and trees and stuff.
most of those in there are post oak or chin oak. They Texas hill country. People don't realize the different areas in Texas or how different they are. You go to hill country, that's real rough, sort of like a badlands, except a lot of vegetation, a lot of wildlife. When you go south, you get down toward the coast, well, it's just beaches and islands and stuff. And you go out west, well, that's high desert, like Arizona is. And, and you go south, and that's all beaches and rolling plains down in there. And you go north, and it's rolling hills and flat. It's more flat.
Yeah.
So you got 5 or 6 different kinds of country in Texas. I think RV lives over there in them East Texas woods.
We experienced 4 seasons in Texas before we got across Texas.
You
That.
can say that one day sometime.
Yeah, that was the first trip across Texas, and honey, we had snow, ice, rain, sunshine.
We've got some mountains, Diane. You get up. Damn, what's the
Yeah,
name?
we spent a night on one of them mountains, thinking we were broke down.
They got some 7,000, 8,000 foot peaks up in there. It's east of El Paso, Guadalupe Mountain. That's the name
There
of it.
was a fort nearby. We took 20, and I don't know if we had made it to 10 yet. But there was a fort with some horse statues or something. I remember we went by that. Made it to a rest area, which was the nastiest rest area I'd ever seen in my life. There's a difference. Texas has two of them, two styles. There's a rest area and I can't remember what the other one is, but one do what?
Picnic area.
Yeah, those are clean, but the rest areas aren't.
Usually, they usually keep them pretty clean, but
we pulled into that one. It was at the top of a mountain, and honey was a little warm. She didn't want her to overheat, which she had never overheated. Still to this day, she hasn't overheated on us. But she had just come out of a 20-year retirement, pretty much. We get up to the top. I pull in there, and we stayed the night, let her cool off and everything. But I thought the thermostat or something was going out of her, because that was the warmest she had gotten climbing. We'd climbed a hill or mountain in Tennessee, and we didn't make it up the side of that one. Well, the fuel filter plugged up, and I had to change that, and then we made it up.
But yeah, y'all got some mosquitoes, that's for sure, RV. I went to service and went to basic training in Fort Polk down there in them swamps in Louisiana, and just solid trees and stuff. And man, they shipped me to San Antonio, put us on a bus and sent us down there. And man, we come out in that open country, and I could just breathe again. And I had all them damn pine trees I wanted. I got a friend of mine that over in East Texas, he'd go back in there and he bought, I don't know how many places he bought over there, but he'd buy those places that had a lot of timber on them, sell the timber off and pay for 3/4 of a plate, replant it, and turn around and sell it and make a fortune off of it,
Yeah. Depends look on Google Maps, see where I was at.
What are you talking about, Diane? Bear? We actually getting a few bear back in Texas again. Big Bend.
Yeah, we did. Ours are coming down from Michigan.
That's one thing I never have hunted. I'd like to go bear hunting. But we're getting a few of them in East Texas, and then in West Texas we're getting a few. They've had so many big cats coming up out of Mexico too. The jaguar, they killed. Somebody took some pictures of a jaguar down there close to Big Bend.
Oh, I think I seen something about a jaguar that was from Mexico that was seen somewhere.
Yeah, they had a bad drought down there, and a lot of them animals moved north. You can make some time here in Texas right now if you're driving, because there ain't a single highway patrol out there on the interstates anymore.
I haven't seen a lot of red and blue lights out on the interstate because we can still see the interstate way out there.
Well,
It ain't nothing to see red and blue lights all the time. Toya, that's where we were at.
in in Texas, the governor pulled all the Texas highway patrols and put them on the border.
Oh wow! But that's getting pretty critical down there. Well, has been critical down there. Cause ain't he got the National Guard down there too?
Yeah, he got the Texas National Guard down there.
Yeah.
I didn't. For a long time, I didn't realize that you had a Texas National Guard and then you got a federal National Guard.
I didn't know. I've never heard of the Federal National Guard.
Well, that's the regular National Guard that's like with the Army.
Yeah.
But
now, are you thinking maybe the Army Reserve?
Do I now?
Are you thinking maybe the Army Reserve? Because I was in that, and it did the same thing the National Guard did. We went 1 week in a month.
Yeah, well, Army Reserve, like you say, similar, but the National Guard is that's all federal, just like the Army Reserve is. But there's actually a Texas National Guard too, which just answers to the governor of Texas. He don't have nothing to do with the federal government, and that's the National Guard that's on the border.
Yeah, because we got Indiana National Guard.
Well, most states have got a National Guard that doesn't answer to anybody but the governor. That's the one that you inside a state they'll call out.
Yeah, when we were in basic training and they were signing up for benefits and all that, the National Guard guys didn't get the benefits us reserve guys got.
I think the regular federal National Guard now gets the same thing as the Army Reserve.
But it's always the state National Guard that gets called up first, it seems.
Well, they've called up so many of the regular National Guard and Army Reserves, in these last two, Afghanistan and Iraq. But
yeah.
The biggest part of people over there were reservists. My son-in-law married my youngest daughter. I think he made 3 tours over there, and he was in the National Guard. But they called him up and sent him home, and then called him back up again, and did that 3 times. And he worked on the computers on them tanks and stuff.
Yeah.
And he got out of the reserve and went to work for the government. They sent him back over there again as a civilian, making good money. I didn't know y'all had any bear up there in Indiana.
Well, technically we don't. Well, the South does. But where I'm from, we don't have bears. We get one that strays out of Michigan every now and then. He makes the news. Or that bear will make the news, and that'll be about it. But yeah, I suppose I don't know. Never seen one, but I've never seen one in any state. Come to think about it, in the wild. Well, yeah, we hear there's bears in southern Indiana.
Yeah, I got a couple divisions of those too, RV. I tell you what, I sure do like that. I think Arizona's got it. Can you conceal carry there in Arizona?
You can open carry.
I know you can open carry, but can you conceal carry?
I think you got. Don't hold me to this, but I think you got to have a permit to conceal carry.
Well, they kicked it wide open here in Texas. You don't have to have a permit. You can conceal carry, open carry.
Well, it may be that way here because it seemed like it'd be if it's open carry, then why would you have to have a permit to conceal?
A lot of people, like when I'm carrying, normally it's concealed. I don't care nothing about everybody saying it's sitting on my hip. And I got a buddy of mine, he carries two of them all the time, right out in the open.
You don't really see a lot of that till you get around Tombstone.
No, used to they were awful. Used to there wasn't any way you could carry a pistol legally because there wasn't a permit or nothing.
Well, apparently you can't. You got to have a permit in Arizona. Both residents and non-residents can get Arizona concealed carry permits.
That's concealed though, like you said.
Yeah. Why would you have to have a permit to conceal if it's open carry? Just that's a money racket.
Yeah, probably so.
Because open carry, you don't need a permit, right?
Right.
Yeah, you need a permit to hide it. Oh,
I keep up with all these lawsuits they got going on this gun control.
that's how I am, Diane, right there.
You were talking about black powder here a while back. How long can you leave one of them black powders loaded and not hurt the barrel and stuff?
As long as it stays dry. Yeah, as long as it stays dry.
It won't let acid in that. Or are you using
FF3.
but I mean, are you using regular black powder or are you using Power Dex or
Oh no! You don't want to use no. That's too dangerous. um, yeah, it's regular black powder. It's FF3.
well,
There's
it's just regular black powder then?
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, and I got my black powder pistols and yeah, because you don't need permits or anything for those.
No, you can walk in and buy one of them anytime you want to.
Yeah, but somebody comes through that they're getting a 44-inch ball in their chest.
You ain't talking about his testicles either, no.
Do what?
I said, you're not talking about his testicles either, are you?
No, they're going to feel like it was back in 1800s. But yeah, that's where I saw most of the open carry at was around Tombstone, Bisbee area.
That's right, RV. You can carry it either way. If you're not a convicted felon, you can basically carry a pistol any way you want to. The only thing, it's got to be in a holster. That's one rule they've got. If you can't just use a clip on the outside of a belt or something like that. It's got to be in a holster.
Mm. Yeah, I'd like to strap on my Navy pistol and run around with it, but
Well, it'd probably be legal to do that.
oh yeah. I mean, open carry plus it's black powder.
Black
You get
powder.
down there. Tombstone. Really, that's all you see is black powder pistols down in Tombstone.
I got a chance to go elk hunting up in Wyoming one time, and it had to be a 50 caliber. So that was as small as you could hunt elk with. And I got to looking around, and I couldn't find what I want. And finally, and it was going to be a horseback hunt, so you needed one that
That's
would.
what my infantry musket is. It's 50 caliber black powder.
Well, have you ever heard of a black powder rifle called an underhammer?
Maybe we've talked a lot of black powder guns at the reenactment, so I may have and just don't
Well,
remember it.
the underhammer is the only design that's American made. I mean, they come up with it in the U.S. and it doesn't have but like three moving parts. The the trigger guard is your mainspring, and the nipple's right on. The nipple goes straight in the chamber, and it's on the bottom of the rifle, and
Hmm.
so it's direct. It's coming in. It don't have to go through that turn. Well, anyway, I could find all kind of 40. I bought a 45, and it shot good, and I really liked it. So I called the company, and I said, "Man, y'all make a damn 50?" And they said, "No, we don't make one." The guy said, "Wait a minute now." He said, let me call you back." He called me back in a few minutes. Said, "We made a run of 15 50 caliber underhammers." Said, "The barrels are still bright, and we just dropped it. We never did go any further." I said, "Well, how many have you got?" And he said, "I've still got all of them." I said, "Well, what do you want for them?" And he said, "Man," said, "I'll take $100 a piece for 'em." I said, "I tell you what you do. You send me number one, two, three, four, five serial numbers. Send me five of them." He called me back the next day and said, "I'll send you five, but it'll start on number two." he wouldn't sell me. He wouldn't sell me that one with the serial number for number one. And I still got them old black powder rifles. Them things were shooters. They were simple, and they'd slide in a boot on a saddle because
Okay.
they're don't have a bunch of junk sticking up on them. But I think that's what kept me off into archery. The only damn trouble with the black powder, you got to clean that son bitch when you shoot it.
Oh my gosh! Every time, just about.
And that bow, I
I've
didn't.
got a lot of boys killed in the war, though. But I mean, really, once if they figured it out, there wasn't a whole lot of dirty rifles out in the battlefield because if you didn't keep your gun or your gun clean, it probably cost you your life.
Well, you know, we used to put them in a bathtub. That was the easiest way to clean that barrel out.
I put it in a dishwasher.
Dishwasher,
Yeah, back
a,
then,
ri-
yeah.
a rifle.
Well, no, not the rifle, but my pistol and the Derringer, and anything else that had to do that I could wash in there that had black powder.
I nearly bought a pistol here 2 or 3 years ago with one of them Walker Colt black powder. But god dang, that's a big old gun.
Boy, that one, I don't see how they marched across this country carrying that musket I got. It's a 1863 Springfield.
Mm.
That thing must, I don't know what it weighs, but it's pretty heavy.
They were talking about, these 10 round clips and that kind of stuff and trying to outlaw that stuff. I'm tempted to send a picture of a Texas Ranger to them idiots up there in Washington most Texas Rangers, if they were going into a battle, had anywhere from 5 to 8 pistols on them. They'd have two saddle horn pistols, and they just have pistols hung all over them because you took too long to reload them.
Yeah.
So they'd be carrying, well, if they were carrying 8 pistols at 6 shots, that's 48 shots. Just
Yeah.
grab a pistol and go. Hello, Janice. There's the lady from Australia. Yeah, we're gonna put you in a corner, Janice, for being late. But like I say, that's sort of what kept me in the bows. I could take and put that bow up. And I didn't have to clean it every time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was the worst part about the reenactments with that black powder was cleaning it after a 20-minute battle. And I was like, man, these guys are out on the battlefield for hours upon hours upon hours, and here my gun's plugging up in 20 minutes. When I can stop and clean it.
Yeah.
And we're using everything the same that they did back then. Though the black powder is probably better quality than what it was back then. Smokeless is the worst. They had to plug one up in no time at all.
But what?
Smokeless black powder. Yeah, some of the reenactments they ask you if you could use smokeless black powder. It's like, man, why take the realism away? We're not using smokeless. Plus, it's worse on our guns.
Well, a regular black powder is a lot more volatile than these others, I think. These others, they've got a couple of them out now that they claim is pretty close to a regular black powder.
They got these cones or something.
Yeah, and pellet.
Yeah, yeah. Those aren't good for. They might be good for normal use, but They're not good for reenactment. I think they get uh, the guns dirty quicker too. Get up there, Luke. Load mine up, take it outside sometime, fire it off. I kind of miss using it.
Well, Janice, you had a good day. Mm. You running behind time. I thought you might have took a nap. Oh, wait. Got a late start. You got a late start on purpose or accidentally, Jen? Oh,
Fairy dust going on the road.
where are you at, Fairy Dust, or where are you going? Maybe I should say. Are you headed up to Washington?
Oh, is that me? The one in Oregon?
Yeah, she got some kin folks in Washington that I think
Oh, yeah.
I heard her say the other day she was going to see them for a few days and then go on to that Oregon meetup. I was wanting to go to that Oregon meetup. But man, it's a little better than 2,000 miles from here.
Oh yeah.
And just,
We may go to it one of these days, one of these years.
but if I'd have some stuff a little bit better shape, I might have thought about it. But I want to make that big trip up there. I want to go like I was talking about a while ago. And then I want to go on up through Oregon and Washington and go on over in Montana and Idaho and Wyoming, Colorado, South Dakota, North Dakota. I want to make a big loop.
Well, I know them mountains are a lot taller than what's over here in Arizona.
Yeah.
So I want to go up in something that I know is going to not have any issues.
I tell you what, Wyoming got some bad passes. Hey, how you doing, Mobang?
Hey, there's Mobang. Howdy, Mobang.
Yeah, I don't. I got a cataract on one eye that I'm fixing to have to get took care of. But I got riders don't drive at night anymore. Especially here in Texas, there's just too damn many deer and hogs and stuff on the road.
It used to affect me till I got these glasses. My eyesight didn't change, but the eye doctor says, well, you got a choice. You can have the same prescription, or we can tweak your night vision a little bit. And they tweaked the glasses for night vision, and it's I have no problem with nighttime now. But I was getting to where I was having issues at night.
If I'm on the interstate or something like that, I don't have any trouble. The only time I have trouble is a little bit in there upon the market road.
Yeah, that's how I was getting. Here soon, though, I'm only going to be moving at night because it's going to be 110 degrees here before too long. Tomorrow's supposed to be 103, though Google's saying 100 now.
Well, I haven't looked and seen what the. I know out in West Texas, they had some thorns pop up tonight, but they didn't get down to us. Well, my night vision, I get that flare off of lights on a narrow road. Now, interstate, I don't have any trouble on. But
That's what they took out with these glasses,
yeah,
was the glare. That's what they told me when they said they were tweaking my night vision. They were just taking the glares out.
yeah, the wildlife down here at night gets bad. When it's wet like it is now, they're not so bad. But where we get in trouble here in Texas, if you ever notice when it's really dry, there'll be a band of real green grass about anywhere from a foot to 2 foot right off the edge of the asphalt. That asphalt's a sweat, and so it's enough moisture to keep that grass green. So all these varmints are standing within a foot of the edge of the highway. You
Oh,
know what you're
jeez,
going down,
yeah.
and so they don't have to make but one jump. Yeah. Well, most of them, otherwise, unless I'm reading or something, the only thing that drives me crazy is if you buy something and you get the damn instructions for it, and they act like it's costing them money to print that stuff big enough that you can read it. You know,
Yeah.
God dang, it's a little bitty stuff.
I've I used to build model cars a lot when I was younger. Thought about getting back into it. I've been looking at different model companies. Back then you get this little black and white sheet with drawings on it that some, sometimes didn't make sense. Nowadays they got big their books with color portraits and diagrams and everything in them, and they're big print. I was like, man, they could have did this back then. Get up there.
I bet that's right, Mo Bang. Other day I was running. I'd stopped at a store and got back on the access road and run about a half a block. And there were two cops stopped, and there was an old woman on a walker, and she looked like she uh, probably homeless or traveling or something. Had all her junk. And they were talking to her. I got down the road about half a mile, and there was some dude that was cranked up on meth or something. I was just walking around in circles talking to himself right out in the middle of the road. I turned around and went back and told them cops, I said, y'all need to leave this woman alone. She ain't, but go down there and get that damn idiot out of the highway. I damn near, he nearly walked into the side of my motorcycle. I mean,
We had one come in the other night. She didn't, as far as we know, she didn't make it down here. But she come up to the entrance and tried to get into all the camp host, all his vehicles and the RVs, and they called the cops. But she wandered off into the desert somewhere here, headed our way, but she never did come our way. And they never did find her. But she was all messed up, didn't know where she was.
that'd be a time to drop your pistol and have it one round go off.
Yeah. Yep, I do that, Booming.
How do you do that?
You just take a picture and then you just take your fingers
Oh,
and zoom in.
take a
Yeah.
picture of it. Okay. Oh, well, folks, it's about that time. We've been on there a
Yeah, I'm
while.
getting pretty tired.
You know, I appreciate everybody coming in, and we'll probably see y'all tomorrow night. See what's going on tomorrow. Y'all have a good night. Thanks for coming up, Roy.
See you, everybody. Yep, I'm out of here. I'm going to bed. Later, everybody.